Hi, this is JilliBling. How are you today? I have a project I'd love to share with you. Take a look at that. Isn't that beautiful? This project, Stampin' Anne Marie Hile. She had this project, she put it on Pinterest, and I've pinned it maybe 4 times already, and I needed to give it a try. And on her blog, she commented, "This project isn't a card for everyone. It takes a lot of work, no doubt about that. But I just had to give it a try and make it." I counted how many gold hoops I have left, and just a few. So that's what I'll be doing. So let's get started. Do you notice the flower, how it has the multiple colors in that? We'll be using the marker, Art Gallery stamp set, the dies that coordinate, Floral Gallery, and then also the ornate frames just for this little border. I think she used a different frame, or she used a doily, and I just added a little. I didn't have any doilies, so I added a little sparkle, a little bling. And we'll be doing a few things I've never done before, using the shimmer paint, the champagne shimmer paint, and an aqua painter to put some little flecks of color on here. They're sparkly. They're gold. Actually, it's champagne, but they're beautiful. Okay, that could go there. So, as always, I'll put all the products used and the paper sizes, because you can tell there's quite a few layers, quite a few papers. I'll put everything on my blog, and my blog is JilliBling.com. We'll use a gold hoop. Got one right there. And vellum, it came in a paper pack. It is, I think there's 3 different colors in there. They're all kind of pastel colors. It might be petal pink, this olive, and I think saffron is in there. And if you don't have this, you can use regular vellum and then just sponge it with olive. So we'll cut one of those out. And that's for this little shadow right back behind here. Anne Marie did that. It turned out great. So we'll cut that out. So this right here, no stamping. This will be, you know what, let's just start assembling. So here is the base paper, and here is the top part of the Z Fold. See, I have ornate floral. This will be for this inside texture piece right here. Just a little bit of interest. So I'll run that through. It's going to go here. So there's a saffron layer in between the poppy paper and the designer paper. And saffron, saffron, designer paper. These 3 are the same size. And when you cut them, they're rectangular, which won't matter too much. But when you go to stamp, you'll want to stamp first before you attach it. Make sure you do it on the right size. Being rectangular, it does matter which way you have it. Okay. This paper here, just a little gold strip, I'll run through one side of the frame. And that's going to tuck right underneath this piece. And all these pieces here. This will have the words on it. Go about there. The gold hoop will go under here. This is for words, and I'm going to heat emboss those with white. We'll do that in just a minute. Okay, so I'm going to stick down all these pieces. Hold on. Don't want to waste your time. You know how to stick down pieces. Look at that. There they are. Okay, so let's stamp the words in Versamark. And I will do a thank you. Okay, one more. I should have used my embossing buddy. White embossing powder. Okay, I will heat set that and cut it out with this die. Okay, so there it is. So it's starting to come together. That's going to be right down there. Okay, stay put. And, you know, let's do the splatter. That's something I've never done. Kind of fun. So these are the white pieces that will fit right onto here. And the splatter is champagne shimmer paint, water pen, aqua pen, and it's got some sparkle in there from when I did the sample. Give it just a little bit of a squeeze. You don't really want it to drip, but you want to see water coming through there. Pick up just a little bit of the shimmer paint, and if you want, you can give it a little bit more of a squeeze. Otherwise, the shimmer paint will just stay there and it won't come off. I'm going to take my scissors, and I want the splatter, and the less shimmer paint that's on there, the lighter, smaller the splatter will be. Give it a squeeze again. I need more paint. Sometimes those little freckles, that's the best. Squeezing it again, trying to get more water out. And you know that's probably enough. Sure is pretty. Okay, so if you don't want to wait, you can take your heat tool and heat it. And usually when I heat, I stay about 1 inch away from the paper, but I really don't want to make this boil and bubble, so I'm going to stay about 6-9 inches away just to provide warmth so that the moisture and these little freckles, splatter of ink, the moisture will dry up, evaporate, and it will become dry. And I'll heat it from the underside, the top side, and it takes maybe 2 or 3 minutes. But for now, I'm going to just set these off to the side. And let them dry, or you could just let it dry overnight. And these I did right before, and I used the heat tool, and they're already dry. Exactly what I want. So when you look at these, yeah, very different. But when you look at the card, this I have perfect splattering, of course, right under the bouquet. So if you can, try to splatter around the outside edges so you could see it. And then on the inside you could see just a little bit of the splatter. So that's just an extra step that makes it, all these little details is what makes our card so nice. So with that said, I think this one will be better on the front because you could see this splatter, and this will be better on the inside piece. Okay, so I could stick this one down. Oh, maybe one of them wasn't quite dry. That's okay. Okay. And I'm going to stamp on this first. So here on the sample, see how there's the bouquet? So I'm going to do the same technique for this little top part of the bouquet and the whole bouquet, but I'll show you how to do that. So this one is going to wait for just a minute. Is that the same size? No. Okay, so here's the stamp. So with the markers, I have 3 markers here: Old Olive, Flirty Flamingo, and Daffodil Delight. Oh no, this is So Saffron. And I'm going to take the brush point, tip, color, ink, direct to stamp. And as you start coloring, you're like, it's already dry. That's okay. This process really does work. And you notice how I'm trying not to use the very tip of my brush marker. If I was using the very tip, I would get down into the crevices. That wouldn't stamp. And also I'll kind of mess up the tip. It would make the tip get all frayed and more like a brush rather than the fine tip that it is right now. So I'm coloring all the flower. Yep, it's drying, but that's okay. Okay, done with that one. Now for the green, a little bit of a stem, and a stem, the leaf, and I will stamp it for the front of the card, and then I'll do the same coloring to stamp just the top of it for the inside of the card. Saffron for these little berries. I don't know what these things are. This is a very special card. It has lots of layers. Okay, I'm going to stamp it onto the white paper. Yes, everything is on the way to being dry. So if you huff on it, it will kind of re-moisten the ink on there and then stamp it. If I stamped it right now, it probably would be okay, but this will make it better. Okay, because this is a polymer stamp, chances are the paper will stick to the stamp, which is a good thing. Don't pull it off. Then you could just kind of rub on the underside to make sure you have full coverage. I probably should have used a foam pad. Okay, looking good. You ready? Oh, the magic of stamping. Love it. So I'm going to do the same thing where I color the flowers, and I will stamp right here in the top corner. I'm going to cut this out with that die. There it is, cut out with the die. And here is the inside. So are you thinking, those flowers look really good? These here, they turned out a little soft, and that's okay. Did I stick that down? Yeah. Okay, so 2-step stamping. This stamp is going to go into Poppy Parade, and that will kind of bring the flower to life. Look at that. I love this stamp set. I hope it carries over to the new catalog, which we'll be getting soon. Soon. Okay, so this is ready to go in. That's going to go on there with a little bit of layering. Okay, so you ready to do this part? So this could go directly underneath it, but I'm going to kind of offset it just a little bit so it looks like a shadow. Let's see, I'll use mini and large dimensionals, or regular. And then mini for the leaf and all that. So just kind of offset these just a little bit. Okay, so that's going to go on here, but we need to get the hoop under there. So the hoop, I wanted to show through some of these cracks because the hoop is really pretty. So I'll put it right about there. So once again, more dimensionals. Like I said, this ain't your average card. And I'm going to attach the hoop using the dimensionals and then maybe a glue dot or two. Okay, and then to make sure that all this stays on the card front, more dimensionals. I don't need that one. We ain't messing around when it comes to this one. Okay, and then just to make sure it stays in place, I have glue dots here. I'll just have it kind of bridge over the top of the hoop. Maybe just 2 of them. Probably don't even need it with all those dimensionals on there. Okay, you ready? And I'm going to leave some room for the words and the bow. Well, I don't want to cover up my splatter. See, now I think I need more splatter. Okay. And mini dimensionals for the words. And in this bundle, you get 2 different size dies for the words. This is the small one. And then this one is a little bit larger for thinking of you or happy birthday. Okay, so all we need is a bow. And I could stick it with a glue dot or liquid glue. I think I'm going to use liquid glue because I don't want it to fall apart. This is my masterpiece of the month. So glue. You know what? I'm going to wait to put that on until I have the card assembled. Okay, so for assembling, first of all, let's attach the pretty gold little side bit. And I'll need to trim this just a bit. Isn't that pretty? Gold, gold, gold. Okay, so I'll trim it right here. Oop, that part isn't showing. Just a little trimming. Okay, so now it's time to attach this to this. And when you have it all in place, trying to make this amount equal with that amount. We know that the whole bottom is going to be attached. Oh, and these 2 amounts here open. And then just half of the top piece. So how about if I start with, is it in place? I'll start with this right here. And I'm going to use liquid glue only because a few months ago we did a card with Zany Zebra. I love that. And Mama did one, and I went into her craft room. It had fallen apart. I was so embarrassed. I don't know why I was embarrassed. It's just the adhesive that she used. But I don't want that to happen. So liquid glue, here we are. So I'm going to wait just a minute. Kind of let the glue absorb into the paper. I guess I put a little bit extra on. Okay, good. And now I will do the other half. And see how I'm keeping it folded? So that means it will get folded in the envelope. I think one of these, that one's good. Maybe it's this one. Yeah, that one's okay. But it doesn't, when it opens up, it doesn't fully open, which is fine because it's meant to stay like that. Okay, so now glue all over this part right here. Maybe I won't put as much. Maybe I'll avoid the edges so I have a little bit of wiggle room. I'm new to liquid glue. I like it. But sometimes I put too much. And then the card is really crunchy, like stiff. Still learning. Okay, fold that in place. There it is. Okay. So next is the bow. Here, hold it down. Hold it down, block. And here is the bow. And this is going to take just a minute to dry, so I'll put it on and we'll consider the card done. Little bow right here. And if you can, try not to put too much glue. On one of the cards I did put too much and it kind of smeared the ink. So I'm just going to let that sit. And I might even put a little bit right on top to soak in through the fibers of the bow. So it's really going to stay on. Okay, just sit, just stay. Okay, so that's it for today. My special project, and thank you to Stampin' Anne Marie Hile. I love this card. You could do it with any designer paper you have. Any colors. I have a lot of left over from before. I might need to make more. Okay, thank you for tuning in, and until next time, have a great day. Bye.